printing is a lot of fun, and it allows us to create some fun, cool little gadgets, even some pretty amazing designs. But did you realize it's also extremely practical and useful, and that it's beginning to revolutionize the way people around the world do their jobs and live their lives? Think about traditional manufacturing, for example, and product development. So let's say that you work for a car manufacturing company such as Toyota. Or since we're imagining, let's say Lamborghini, and you're working together with a team of engineers to develop a new car. And your specific task is to create the door handle for this new car. So you sit around, you brainstorm, you come up with some good ideas, you sketch them out on paper, make sure they're well developed, and then before it can be manufactured, though, you obviously need a model to see if it actually works. So what do? Well, you could send your design off to a machine shop, but then you would have to wait days or weeks or months to get your design back and try it out and see if your idea actually works. Or maybe you have to create some sort of mold into which you pour some sort of material and then see if that happens to work the way that you think it was going to. Maybe you have to be even simpler than that and you just have to create it out of clay or wood or something to that effect. But whatever you do, it's either going to be very expensive or very time-consuming, or it's going to not accurately reflect what you want your design to be. And of course, we all know that our first design of something doesn't usually work out. So we're going to have to repeat that process over and over again until we finally get the door handle that we dreamed of producing. Well, that's one of the things that 3D printing has made so much easier. Now I can sketch out my door handle, walk over to the printer, stick my design in, print it out, and within a matter of hours, maybe even minutes if it's a small design, find out whether the design works or not. And then I can go back and make the modifications that I need to. So besides making it easier to create prototypes and one-of-a-kind products, 3D printing also allows us to create things on the spot or locally. And for example, at the beginning of the coronavirus crisis, healthcare workers realized that they needed a lot more personal protective equipment. And the manufacturers looked at the problem and said, well, we can build more factories, but that's going to take months or years. We can up the production at our current facilities, but then we'd have to ship it to you, and that's going to take weeks or months. While healthcare workers are saying, but we need it right now. And so at Union University, where I work, we said, well, we have all these 3D printers. We can print that equipment. And so we began doing it. And over the course of a few weeks, we had thousands of face shields for healthcare personnel. And other universities and organizations around the country did the same thing. Even kids who were at home who had 3D printers were able to print out this PPE and take it to their local healthcare organizations. And so all of these supplies were able to be delivered in a matter of days rather than weeks or months. And it's not just here on Earth where this ability to produce on the spot is important. Did you know there are 3D printers on the International Space Station? So imagine that you're an astronaut working on the space station, and you have this one particular tool that you use to make repairs, to do whatever it is you do up on the space station. What do you do if that tool gets broken or gets lost? Well, traditionally, you would have to wait for NASA to send up the next cargo rocket so that you could replace that tool. Well, now with a 3D printer there, you're able to just take the file, print it out, and there you have your new tool ready to go within a few minutes or a few hours. And so NASA thinks this is going to be really important technology as we start to go to the moon and to Mars to be able to produce things on the spot. In a similar way, we use 3D printing a lot around our house for parts that break or go missing. So for example, when the little door catcher on our washing machine broke, we were able to just print out another one. Or when a dog chewed up the piece to one of our favorite board games, we could just print out a replacement piece and play just like normal. But I must say that my absolute favorite reason for 3D printing is that it allows everyone to be an inventor. I think about a story that happened when I was a child. I have a younger brother, and he had this idea that he wanted to make it possible to eat French fries with ketchup in the car. And he even created a design for this. He sketched it out. He knew exactly how this was going to work. But it wasn't something that you could create with just like construction paper and glue. And he was 12 years old, so he didn't exactly have a lot of connections to manufacturing facilities. So his idea stayed exactly that, just an idea. But if he had had a 3D printer, he could have taken that idea, sketched it out in a CAD program, printed it out on his printer, and put it in his car. And all of that within like a matter of hours. And if it had worked, who knows what would have happened. So a 3D printer allows an idea to go from your head to your hand in just a matter of hours, maybe even minutes if it's small. And that's what is really, really cool. And so I can't wait to see what you can create.